Welcome back to Sports Dump, Lewis County's only sports podcast. We're sponsored by Elam's Home Furnishings and Mattress Gallery, Goebel Septic, and Americool Heating and Cooling. I'm Aaron Van Tile, joined by the Chronicle sports crew, Dylan Wilhelm and Zach Martin. And fellas, that's your audio participation trophy for making it this far.
Let's go.
Thank you.
To the Final Four in the state football playoffs. The quarterfinals are in the books. Does it feel like a big jump for you guys from quarterfinals to semifinals? Quarterfinals feels like really early rounds, but semifinals feel really serious.
I would
like we've done it.
That's when the games get close
Yeah.
and we contemplate, hitting the road. And, we've seen so many 60 burgers this year.
It's time to get some competitive games in here.
Yeah, I agree. All right, 5 area teams competed in the quarterfinals around the west side this weekend. 3 came out victorious and are thus still alive. We'll start at Tacoma, where WFS shut down Franklin Pierce's wing T offense. Okay, Zach, you called it. You had a correct take on last week's podcast.
I get
We all
all
mocked
the
you.
credit. I was mocked.
We mocked you harder than we typically mock you, and you were absolutely correct, down to your prediction on it being relatively low in score.
I had the same amount of points that WFS had.
Yep, there you go. All right, go ahead.
I was looked at in disgust by my colleague over here, Dylan
And then you
Wilhelm.
made your pick.
Yeah, and then I said it's going to be low scoring in WFS. Franklin Pierce had scored way less than I thought they would, but yeah, this it was very cute to read how WFS was vulnerable to this type of offense, and another publication picked Franklin Pierce to win 42-21, and I slightly chuckled at that afterwards. I'm like, okay. Yeah, here's the thing. 8 or 9 times out of 10, WFS is going to have the best or 2 best players on the field in Tucker Land and Gage Brumfield. And that's exactly what transpired on Friday, and I was correct, and I'm happy to be correct.
Anything else you want to mention?
I'm going to contradict myself later when I talk about Alaska. What?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just playing the Oscars playoff music.
Oh, okay.
I genuinely didn't recognize that. It sounds almost like it would be like the overture for like a Mario level.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
I was wrong about WFS, obviously.
Here we go.
It's the second time. If we all remember week 1, I overestimated North Kitsap and I overestimated Franklin Pierce. I joke sometimes where it's like, well, if you want to see better football, go north. Apparently not. I don't know. I'm just sitting on the sideline just wondering what Franklin Pierce is doing. I understand live by it, die by it kind of thing, but I mean, we're all over on the sideline. They faked a punt at one point.
Hell yeah.
I think it was just a high snap and the punter freaked out and tried to take off, but we're all just sitting here saying like, can you show like any adjustment, just a single adjustment? Let's maybe, football is more complicated than don't run directly in like at the big guys, but you could try other stuff to try to mix things up. But
Okay.
yeah. Sorry, Schwartz slacked me and I got distracted. Anyways, offensively, WFS onside kick to start the game. 21 in the first half, more than enough. They ended up adding on late. The Franklin Pierce defense did make their adjustments. I don't know how much WFS, if they were trying to hold back in the second half because they knew the defense was going to have them. And the only reason, is kind of like what Hill said leading up to the week. It's like one man has one job. If everyone does their job, it'll be fine. And that's what Holman said after the game too, Cage Holman. And he's like, yeah, the 160-yard touchdown, one guy messed up. And other than that, we were perfect. So credit to WFS.
Yeah, credit to them. Great win. I didn't pick him either. I bought the Franklin Pierce Kool-Aid. You got 2 presidents' names right there. That's usually a good thing. Not today.
Nope.
So yeah, good luck to the Bearcats this week. We'll preview their upcoming semifinal later in the program. In the other 2A semifinal, You know, a lot of people said Tumwater would stop scoring 70 points in games once they reached the state playoffs, especially the quarterfinals.
We were also wrong about
Yeah,
that.
we're wrong
Incorrect.
about that. Jesus.
Tumwater scored 30 in the first quarter and beat Seahome 70-7. Again, this is a state quarterfinal
and the
game.
7, I have photo proof, was a incorrect call on a toe tap in the corner of the end zone. So even that was
Okay.
sure. We'll give you a pity 7. Sorry.
Tumwater's, were they out like fighting for it? Being like, what the hell?
The ref took like 4 seconds to make a call and then just threw his hands up. I don't even think he knew. He was like,
It's
It's
like,
just why
whatever.
not?
It's
Yeah,
56 to nothing.
Yeah,
Like,
just give him something.
this is just the path of least resistance at this point. So Cash Short from Tumwater had a pick 6. He had a 52-yard rushing touchdown. He had a sack for a safety, all in the first 12 minutes. And then whoever wanted to get into the end zone just kind of went. They just kind of took turns.
yeah. I mean,
You were at that one also, Dylan?
yeah,
Thoughts?
that one was not. That one was less surprising. Like a comedy of errors for Seahome. You know, pick 6. They actually held Tumwater without points on their first drive. They get the ball back, immediate pick 6. There was a kickoff that they like failed to field, and Tumwater recovered at the 2. You know, you got guys rushing for 40 yards left and right. I mean, I could throw a game of Madden on right now and put it on rookie difficulty, and I don't think I'd be able to be that efficient and score 70. And probably without a running clock, but if there was no running clock, this is one of those games. This is why the running clock was put into play. Mm-hmm. We're sitting here going, would they run the clock in the first half of a playoff game? You're darn right. And thank God they did, because otherwise Tumwater might have put up 100. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We will get to Tumwater's next opponent later on in the program as well. This podcast brought to you by Goebel Septic, providing septic service and sanitation for Thurston, Lewis, Mason, Cowlitz, and Grays Harbor counties. Septic pumping, septic inspection, septic riser installation, commercial septic pumping, grease trap services, porta potty rentals, and sink rentals to go with those porta potties. Visit goebelseptic.com, Goebel septic.com, or give them a call at 360-736-2167. And now, on to the 2B doubleheader at Centralia's Tiger Stadium. Although Napavine seems to have played there in playoff games just as much as anybody the last 10 years.
Probably. That's probably accurate.
I broke it down a few years ago, the number of games the Napavine Tigers have played at Tiger Stadium, playoff games, and they are very successful there. Onalaska lost to Freeman 28-0 in a game where Mazen Sadi said the Loggers just, quote, flat out got our butts kicked. What occurred in this game?
Well,
speaking of the mic, Zach.
Sorry. Cody's not here, so I have to sometimes be Cody and not speaking to the mic. Maz actually said we flat out got our asses kicked. I was just, keeping it PG for the story.
Clutching your pearls.
Right, a little bit. It's hard to. So here's where I contradict myself. So remember last week how I said teams up there in the Tacoma area don't see the power T offense, so they don't really know how to stop it. But even though WFS has seen an offense similar to that once, they have an idea on how to stop it. Onalaska doesn't really see the spread offense outside of maybe once or twice, but they don't see it routinely enough to where they know how to stop it or have the personnel to stop it. And I trusted Maz and I trusted Onalaska to just be able to run it down their throats and have a lot of success. That didn't happen. Their counters, their powers, their blasts, they were stuffed at the line of scrimmage or backed up 1 yards, and then whenever they would have a sliver of momentum, like Lane Gordon had a pick at the goal line right before the end of the first half, and then he chucks up a pass that any other quarterback other than an Onalaska quarterback, it's probably caught, and I believe it was Rodrigo Rodriguez. He was under it, and so was the DB. So it could have been picked, it could have been caught. So if that happens, maybe it's a game. And then Blaze Underhill gets a pick on Freeman's first drive of the second half. They get inside the red zone, and then it's either negative yardage or penalties, and then they're backed up, and then they fumble, and then that was kind of the game. It was an uncharacteristic uncharacteristic performance by Onalaska in a situation where you just don't expect those type of errors and those type of shooting yourselves in the foot to happen to a team like that.
All right. The Loggers. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm
Dylan.
sorry. It just feels so similar to week 1 against Nooksack. And with how they've been playing recently, I mean, it just seemed like, oh, that's behind them. It won't happen again. If anything, they'll go out swinging. And like you said, it just kind of unraveled.
Yeah.
Onalaska's season comes to an end. Would you guys like to say something nice about the Loggers?
Always fun.
Yeah, always a great time with Maz. My first time with Maz, to go from him using me as an example to fire up his players in fall practice to
surely the last time that'll happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It'll happen again.
and then to saying that we flat out got our asses whooped right by the school bus. It was a joy to watch the Loggers. Rodrigo Rodriguez, Blaze Underhill, I think 2 of the best players in the area, regardless of classification. That's a lot of talent that's going to be gone. So a lot's going to be relied on Lane Gordon back at quarterback, and a lot of new faces that are going to have to fill some big holes in the backfield at linebacker, at secondary with Cooper Lawrence also graduating. I think the offensive line's going to have to really take a step forward next year to bring on this new cast of players.
All right, moving on to the other local versus local matchup, something of a Highway 603 rivalry. The what do we call it?
The rivalry we have no name for.
I literally called it the rivalry. That's what I'm calling it.
We're gonna make it the game.
It's not goddamn Harvard versus Yale.
Well, it might as well be. It's
No.
two. They're two.
Trust me, as a graduate of one of those programs, Harvard versus Yale, it is not. Anyway,
You're not giving yourself enough credit.
I giving myself the exact right amount of credit. Napavine took care of Adna 46-6. Carson Denault had 185 yards and scored 4 total touchdowns, including a scoop and score. Grady Wilson threw for 141 yards and a pair of touchdowns to Denault. Zach talked to both of them after the win. Zach, how did those two feel?
They were very happy. They were excited to get Adna again. And that week 5 game, we kind of talked about the turning point for both teams. Napavine was out 3 or 4 starters. Caleb Von Preston and Beckett Landrum missed that game, along with one others, and then Cale Kelly, who I will have more on in my semifinal preview for Napavine. He's obviously out for the year, but he's turned into, just read the story. It'll be up online tomorrow morning and in an early Wednesday edition of the Chronicle because of Thanksgiving. So tune into that. They were the 2 best players on the field, and there were no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They dominated. Adna scored first, and it was like, oh, it was kind of like last year from what I was told. Like, oh, it's a semi-close game between Napavine and Adna, and then Napavine turned it on, and it turns into a rout. And for the 10th straight year, they're in the Final Four.
All right, Adna finishes the season 8-4, kind of a sneaky 8-4. I guess I just hadn't been paying attention. I thought they were closer to maybe a 7-5 team, but 8-4, pretty good for them.
That's a very good for Aaron Cochran's second year. That's really good, and I think next year is the year you kind of circle.
Mm-hmm. They will have all but 7. They have 7 seniors graduating. Bo Miller will be back. He's kind of been their two-way star this season.
Jackson Knittles will be back on the offensive defensive line. Stephen Odell, their best tackler, will be back at linebacker. Noah Hellam, who big man, got the game-sealing interception last week, or in the round of 16 against Liberty Bell. Next year's the year you kind of circle for Adna to, potentially make some noise, barring as long as they're healthy.
Mm. All right.
I don't mean to work backwards, but I forgot to mention these fun facts about Onalaska's loss and kind of Tubi as a whole. Do you want to
credit these?
These are courtesy of former Chronicle writer and editor Josh Kirschenbaum. Let me scroll up in the texts here. All right. This is the first time since 2015 that a D4 2B team has lost a home playoff game when they're the higher the seed. not counting the state title games.
Mm-hmm.
First time since 2012 with only one D4 team in the 2B Final Four, back when MWP went to 3 straight state championship games.
Mm-hmm.
And first time since 2006 where both 2B semis are played east of the Cascades.
Yeah.
Those are some fun facts.
Fun facts,
Those
courtesy
are
of Josh.
It's a shame they're not playing the finals in the Tacoma Dome where they should be. UW can keep theirs.
Used to be
hot
the Tacoma
take?
Dome.
Hot take?
Wherever they're playing.
Is that a hot take or is that a consensus take? Because I saw Jim Shapiro, a longtime head coach at King's High School, say the same thing.
They were in the Tacoma Dome for a long time.
I know,
so I
but-
get the
Yeah.
sentiment, but I do love it at UW personally.
UW.
Get these kids on a real field. No more Harry E. Lang and Sparks. Tacoma Dome is better than that, but
The Tacoma Dome is fun. You get to play indoors. There's all kinds of cool stuff going on. It's beautiful downtown Tacoma right there. You never know what you're going to see. You can go left and go to downtown where it's cool, or go right and, maybe end up in the wrong neighborhood.
You're going to
Who
end
knows?
up mugged. Who knows?
This podcast brought to you by Elam's Home Furnishings and Mattress Gallery. If you take a wrong turn at Tacoma and lose your home furnishings and mattress,
Go to Elam's.
go see our friends at Elam's Home Furnishings and Mattress Gallery. I know what you're wondering. Do they have a Black Friday sale? You're goddamn right they do. You can save up to $800
Whoa.
on a Serta iComfort Pro mattress and an adjustable base. That's one of the ones where you push a button and it just lifts you up. You could have the weakest abs in the world and watch TV. What a situation. Visit their website, elamshf.com. Check them out in person. Check out their showroom at 1530 South Gold Street in Centralia. Elam's Home Furnishings, Mattress Gallery.
Are you a Black Friday shopper, Aaron? Do you enjoy Black Friday? Are you more of a Cyber Monday?
Yeah, I just kind of buy whatever I need when I want it.
Fair enough.
I stopped buying new clothes last year.
Oh.
So my shopping has been really limited. I'll buy used shit. That's about it.
Yeah.
Valley Village, Goodwill,
Yeah.
some good spots. Desiree Industries. What happened to the Black Friday that I was taught to fear Black Friday, and then people used to line up and hit each other and punch their way. And
that's long
now
gone.
there's 20% discounts. What are we doing here? Bring back violence on Black Friday.
I think part of it is TVs have gotten so cheap now. It used to be I went to Black Friday and I got this 55-inch TV for only $700, and now you can just get that
half
all.
that anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, now you can go to Costco and get a 100-inch TV for $1,700, and it's it's kind of taking the thrill out of it. And also, you can just get the same cheap shit on Amazon, and you don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Whenever. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, if you enjoy Black Friday, please continue to do so. The economy needs it.
And Small Business Saturday. I don't own a business, but I buy from them sometimes.
Go patronize
cool
a
spot,
small
yeah.
business.
Support local businesses.
They also give good deals on
Buy an ad in the
sometimes.
Chronicle, a small business.
Ew. Good plug.
Let's look ahead to this weekend's semifinal games, starting with WF West, which will be heading north to take on number 2 Anacortes. And Schwartz and I were discussing this earlier, but we had a part-time reporter here probably 10, 12 years ago who he had some mishaps with his way of jotting down words. He wrote a baseball story and referred to Anacortes, the town, Anacortes, one word, as Anna Cortez with a Z at the end, 2
Nice.
words.
Nice.
Like it was
It was
perhaps
a female,
perhaps
yeah.
a Mexican lady or something. And
Perhaps. Perchance.
anytime I see Anna Cortez now, I just wonder what that beautiful Anna Cortez is up to. Why has she not returned my calls? Anyway,
never will.
This game is at 3 p.m. at Oak Harbor High School. Oak Harbor, 2 words, not a lovely woman.
it could be a handsome fella. You don't know.
Could be.
Anna Cortez beat West Valley Spokane 55-13 in its quarterfinal matchup. How do we feel about the Bearcats and their chances up north?
I'll start with something Zach mentioned earlier. He kind of said, 90 to 95% of the time, the Bearcats are going to have the 2 best players on the field. I'd say it's a toss-up this week. Anacortes has the Beener brothers, Brock and Brady, who both, and Ryland Lang, all three of those torched Tumwater last year. They've been torching most of the teams they've played all year. Based off what I've seen from WF West lately, I do think it'll be close, but it's going to take an even better performance than what we saw last week to beat the Santa Cortes team. The Biener brothers are going to Montana, and then Lang will be teammates with Brumfield at Eastern next year.
I just get this. I get this Team of Destiny vibes with this WF West team. I don't know why. I just probably would agree that 2 years ago when they went to the semifinals as the number 2 seed, they're probably better. And then they lost a heartbreaker to North Kitsap. I think this year it's those sophomores that are now seniors played in that semifinal game. Like they know what it takes to get there, and now they're back. I don't know. I get this Team of Destiny vibes with WF West. They're gonna have to play a perfect game. I think they will. I think they win, and it's gonna be WF West Tumwater Part 2 in Husky Stadium next Saturday.
They are the 6th seed?
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're playing. I like WF West a lot more as an underdog.
Yeah.
I do too.
For sure.
I do too.
It's
good. They're gonna have to play perfect. I mean, they're going to have to play their best game, and
they still might need a break or two, which could happen. It's plaplayoff football. I mean, Lord knows.
Any given Saturday,
one fumble in the red zone, and all of a sudden, it's a completely different game.
I get this. You know that funny feeling in your stomach?
Oh yeah,
I get it with WF West.
It's gout.
I understand it.
I don't think it's gout.
I don't disagree anymore. I've done enough underestimating WF West this season. I just remember watching Anacortes just dismantle Tumwater, and most of the guys are back. Every guy who had a big game in that game is back. Like you said, it's going to take WF West's best performance of the year.
Who did they lose to in the semifinals last time?
WF West lost to North Kitsap. In 2022.
Up north team. All
by
right.
2, I believe. I think it was like, I looked back
close.
at it, like 30-28, something
I don't even
like that.
remember. Did North Kitsap end up winning that
No,
state title?
They lost.
Was it Graham Capasson? Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or no, it was Lake Stevens, I think. Because it wasn't Lake Stevens back-to-back.
Wait,
Lake Stevens is 4A. What am I talking about?
Yeah,
Never
Lake
mind.
Stevens,
I'm
the home of Jacob Eason?
I'm mixing up classifications.
All right. And then moving on to Tumwater, they will be at home again playing Archbishop Murphy. The Wildcats are coming off a 10-9 win over Linden. They also run the wing tee.
Linden scored, and they failed the 2-point conversion, so that's how Archbishop Murphy won 10-9.
Not inspiring a lot of confidence.
Shout out field goal kickers.
Oh, it's the
2
second
field goals in that game.
It's the second time they beat Linden, and then they're the only team that's beaten Anacortes.
They actually lost to Linden the first time.
Oh,
but
did they lose?
They still have beaten Anacortes. It's the only team in the last 2 years to beat Anacortes. Yeah, both teams run the wing tee. This game's going to take approximately 75 minutes.
Love it.
Yeah, so, Garrow just kind of gave us, me and Tyler Wiki, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, from the News Tribune. He kind of gave us a quick synopsis of, obviously teams run different variations of the wing tee. We kind of compared it to Bellevue, where he's like, where Bellevue kind of, fast speed, and Tumwater, misdirection. He's like, Archbishop Murphy is just physical, almost like Ani, where it's just like, we're just going to run over you. And we're bigger and we're stronger and we're going to move the line of scrimmage. And I don't know if they'll be able to do that against Tumwater, but it's worked to this point. And he also threw in a random fun fact. He's like, yeah, Tumwater and Archbishop Murphy, this will be the 5th time in the last decade that they've met in the state playoffs. Tumwater has won 3 of them, but the one they lost was Sid Otten's last game as a Tumwater coach at Sid Otten Field in Tumwater. And I know a lot of those assistants worked with Otten and have ties to him still, so I'm sure they want to get another one on them.
And I talked with Garrow today. Archbishop Murphy is very physical up front. Their tight end is a Wisconsin recruit. I think most of their offensive linemen are 250 plus. It's going to be they're going to have to Tumwater's going to have to play their best game. I think I think both Tumwater and Anacortes are on upset alert. And I think Archbishop Murphy, if I were to pick who's got the better shot to win, like just not my own like personal opinion, I think Archbishop Murphy has a real good shot. I'm not saying they will. I think Tumwater does win. I think they win close. I think it's a one-score game, but I think Archbishop Murphy does have the stones to win. I mean, their resume speaks for itself.
Yeah, if I had
Got
that
the
size, I'd run the
stones.
wing tee. I'd run the wing tee too. I would run the ball over under 6.5 pass attempts combined in this game.
Garrow did say that Archbishop Murphy does not throw as much as Tumwater
Tumwater
does.
will do a lot of play action.
So
stuff.
it does open up the possibility to how much Jackson Budd will throw the ball. Like how many over under 5.5 pass attempts for Jackson Budd. It'll be interesting to see how they'll use the play action game to if they absolutely need to.
All right. And then we'll move on to the 2Bs. Napavine heads to Richland, a drive of 3 hours and 49 minutes to face number 2, Asotin. And I wish Cody was here for this because he would chime in with me and call Asotin
frauds.
Potential frauds?
Potential.
Again, Asotin,
Fraud
the Panthers barely survived against number 10 LaSalle. They stopped a late 2-point conversion to win 21-20 in the quarterfinals. First off, hat tip to LaSalle for being down 21-20 in the last seconds of the game and being like, you know what? We're going to go for it.
It wasn't
Speaking of stones, Zach.
It wasn't last second. This was like 3 minutes plus.
Oh.
They still could have stopped Asotin and they couldn't. They gave up a third down with under 2 minutes left and that was the game. So it wasn't even a last second, like 5 seconds left. There was plenty of time for them to stop and get the ball back and they couldn't. So Asotin's got that. They know how to win close games, and it's not just the 2 postseason where they've won by a total of 4 points. They beat Freeman, the team that shut out Ani. They beat them by 4 points. Like they've been in a lot of close games, and they know how to win close games.
Okay. How do we? Do you think Napavine can take them though?
Yeah, I think they win.
I think
Napavine I think the experience factor plays a part in it. I think being in this situation, no matter how far you have to travel, knowing what it takes to get to this point, the experience factor is where I think Napavine wins, and I think it's 35-14 is my final score prediction. Napavine gets back to Husky Stadium.
Okay. The other semifinal, it will be Okanagan and Freeman. So we'll see how that goes.
Run it back, anyone?
It kind of looks that way.
3rd year in a row?
Yeah, looks that way.
Time in the last 10 plus.
This podcast brought to you by Americool Heating and Air Conditioning, providing full service HVAC installation services and repair with a 100% satisfaction guarantee on everything they do. If you are either too hot, or too hot, too cold, give our friends at Americool a call. Visit them at west.americoolonline.com, where you can reach them at 360-948-2410. All right, grid picks. I have not done mine yet.
So you're going to do them live?
I am, yeah.
All right.
Cody's still got a game lead on you.
I know, I see that.
Yeah, we all kind of sucked last week.
You know what? I think my LaSalle pick is it doesn't count on the board, but it's a moral victory.
Dylan was the only one that
they covered the spread.
They did cover the. What was the line?
I got Archbishop Murphy.
I was the only one that picked W because yes.
Yeah,
Chad,
you mentioned
Chad counts, but I'm the only one that still believes.
We all swapped. We all lost Kennedy Catholic.
We all lost Ani.
Me and you lost Nia Bay.
Yeah, we lost Nia Bay. You and Cody picked ACH.
What's WCK?
Wilbur Creston Keller.
Ooh, interesting.
Against Nacelle.
I'm gonna take Nacelle on that one. What do you think about that?
Are you?
Yeah, we'll start the discussion there. I am taking Nacelle. Everybody else is taking Wilbur Creston. What is it?
Wilbur Creston Keller. They beat Mossy last year in a semi, and they lost to Liberty Bell.
All right. WF West versus Anna Cortez.
Come on, AVT. How about there's plenty of room on the Bearcats bandwagon.
Cody took Anna Cortez.
I'm so sorry, WF West. I am going to take Anna Cortez.
Dylan's taking Anna Cortez. Zach's taking WF West. Cody's taking Anna Cortez.
I've been saying all year I need that Anacortes Tumwater rematch.
Come on, AVT. All Evco state championship game.
Oh boy. You know, when you put it like that, I can't take Anacortes or I can't take WF West. I hope the game is extremely close, and I am pulling for WF West, but I have to catch Cody in.
Is that your only? That's the only reason.
He has a 1-game lead on me.
He
I
went
think
all
I can
chalk.
catch him here.
Cody went all chalk.
Let's see, Napavine, Asotin. Well, he didn't go all chalk. He took Napavine over Asotin.
He put Asotin, and then I was like, "You're taking Asotin," and he went, "Oh shoot, I meant to type in Napavine."
How?
How do you accidentally type in Asotin?
All right, Okanagan, Freeman. I'm taking Okanagan. Sumner, Chiawana. Cody's got Sumner. Why do you have Chiawana, Zach? Are you just doing a bit?
No, I'm
Just guessing.
no. I looked. I did a little bit of research.
Chiawana's loss is to an Idaho team. Sumner's loss is to an Oregon team.
Yeah, I'm just going with Chiawana.
You know what? I'm going to roll with Zach on this one.
Oh,
I'm taking Chiawana. Camus, Gonzaga, Prep. Sorry, nerds. I'm taking Camus.
We all got Gonzaga Prep wrong last week.
Camus
None of us are riding with them again.
Camus has been the best team in 4A. Like it's just been like a hot knife through butter all season. They're
Paper makers.
yeah.
Eastside Catholic versus O'Day.
Paulo Banquero's brother plays for O'Day. That's all I know.
O'Day.
Football?
If O'Day wins this and then they win the 3A state title game, Marty will tie Sid Otten for the most wins in WIA coaching history, and he would break it if they win their season opener in 2025. Which,
Really?
selfishly, I kind of want Tumwater to schedule a day week 1 next year. Just
That would be
selfishly.
fun.
That would be really fun.
Everybody else is going O'Day. I guess I'll go O'Day. A bunch of private schools. Bellevue versus Roosevelt.
Are you surprised?
Whom's am I to pick against Bellevue?
Shout out Royal, the 1A public school dynasty.
Yeah.
They're a public school? Oh, I thought they were
I
private
Googled
too.
it, and it was like, yep, my vision, my perception of you has changed dramatically. I'm very pro public schools winning.
Seton Catholic versus Montesano. You say that, and yet you took Seton Catholic over Montesano.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Is Seton Catholic good? Zach, what do we know?
They're the Trico champs.
That doesn't mean anything.
Are you going to talk me out of this live now that I look at this more?
No, I think honestly I went back and forth a little bit. I just think Seton Catholic is better. Monty beat La Center. Seton Catholic had to squeak by to win the Trico. Monty beat them 21-10, and it wasn't even really that close. They kind of dominated that game from beginning to end.
Who beat Life Christian?
Who
beat Life Christian in the other 1A? That would have been what, 4. Was that a 4-5?
No. Seton Catholic beat Life Christian 42-41. It was a close game.
Close.
It was like it came down to the very end. It was
Screw it. I'm going to swap.
You're going Monty?
Why not? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to Montesano too.
All right, there we go. I'm still rolling with Seton Catholic, but
The weather will be a factor.
I would honestly, you know what? I would be happy if Monty wins because then it makes Napavine's loss to them better.
Sure. And then Liberty Christian versus Elmira Cooley Heartline. I'm taking Liberty Christian because everybody else did. And so if these, let's see, I think.
And then next week we'll pick
a winner should be determined between Cody and I after this week.
Well, then next week we're going to pick the 6 state championship games.
Yeah, that's true. So, all right, my picks are in.
All right. You feel good about them, Aaron?
They're fine.
Yeah.
It will not impact me either
Last
way.
week was perfect. I just wanted chaos and for us not to go like 9-3. So I was like 4-5 matchups, and we all kind of went 50-50. So
Yeah, except Zach, who went 6-4.
I went 5-5.
I went 6-4.
Oh, you went 5.
So did
Cody and I
Ridley.
both went 5-5.
Ridley went 6-4 too.
Yeah, Cody and I just fist fighting in a mud pile for the lead.
Don't look now. Ridley and I are only 3 back with all these crapshoot random other classification games.
All right. Anything else you guys want to hit on? What time are all the games this weekend?
So go. Oh, you got it.
Tumwater's at 2 p.m. at Tumwater District Stadium.
Saturday.
All these games are Saturday.
Yep.
WF West is at 3 p.m. at Oak Harbor High School against Anacortes. And Napavine is at 4 p.m. at Richland High School.
At the Fran Risch
Stadium.
Yeah,
It's part
Richland.
of a doubleheader. I forgot what the other game was.
It's the Liberty Christian. It's the Liberty Christian ACH doubleheader because I think Liberty Christian plays I don't know if they have a high school field, but they're playing at the Richland Stadium. Saw the picture from one of the coaches of Asotan's Twitter. It's a big stadium. It's gonna be nice.
That's the only guy that tweets about Asotan. I was trying to look up
Perry
scores on their
Baker,
Twitter during the game, and nothing.
Cody and I will be making the trek to Richland to cover Napa Vine Asotan.
Ooh.
Dylan and Ridley will make the trek north to cover WF West Anacortes. Yep. And then our lovely Josh Kirschenbaum, will be covering Tumwater Archbishop Murphy for us.
Okay. All right. With that, we'll wrap it up, and we will talk to you next week when we have state finalists.